All right, what's going on, everybody? Greg Doss, GD9 Attorney Pro Se Consultants, and I apologize for the delay. I don't know, I had a couple of technical difficulties, but we're going to still get to what we had to get to as part of our No Gatekeeping series and for members as well. And I know that plenty of people are going to end up seeing it eventually, but I like to try to give my members a little bit more opportunity to ask me questions directly. And actually, because you're a member here, you can always just reach out to me. If you're not a member, you could reach out to me and we can discuss things. The beautiful part about having a membership is you get a chance to go back into I forgot how many 80 videos or whatever that are over there that have classroom type settings where we've discussed many of the issues that come up in everybody's child support cases. So it's not going to just be me talking. It'll be me in the middle of a bunch of other people doing some other asking questions and doing what have you, just basic and good interactions. But what I want to talk to you about right now is because I get questions every day, and every now and then somebody will call me and tell me that they, seen certain things, and even people will call me about other people. And I don't know a lot about these guys out here, but I can tell you that when you speak to me, I can speak to you from what my experiences are, and that's why I share them here. And I always had to give a shout out to the first person that kind of gave me the conceptual idea of just telling people everything, which is William Crowley, which we're trying to get on here. And if you go to my page and you'll see an interview with Will UCC, it's all audio, but I'm going to try to bring him onto the platform so you can talk to him live and we can get, an idea of how he started on his journey for UCC, and he should teach the UCC and do the things that help so many other people. So that being said, again, we know who I am. And for those who didn't know, also, I was also DJ Squid a long time ago on Blog Talk Radio. And I don't do what I do for clout or for, fanfare or what have you. It'd be, it's good that people, I like the support. And I hope the support is coming because people are finding me and finding out the information that I'm putting out here is useful for your everyday experiences. Not, not to get you to call me or even get consultations, which I do offer services, fully transparent. But I want people to be able to do things on their own. I'd be just as good if people didn't call me at all, but you could take the information from what I've already done and get a long way with it. I'm here to help build a community and help the people. That's ultimately what's the most important thing to me anyway. And also, I want to also, again, shout out all the real guys who are out here doing the work in the streets. And if you get a chance, go check out my interview with hashtags, my man chicken-nugget. We got some other testimonies that I had to better organize on the page, but you all can see testimonies from several of the guys that are that have gotten some beneficial results from this information. So the first thing I want to go is about these gurus that have so much to say about a lot of things. And I'm going to just tell you, people, there's some questions that you can ask. And, I have my little list over here. I want to make sure I don't miss any of these things because, I just don't understand how people think you can help people by hiding things from them. Because I can tell you what I've done. I can show you what I've done. And it doesn't tell you how I did it if my thing is, okay, how can I make money? But gatekeeping doesn't help because if something happens to the gatekeeper, everybody stays locked out or locked behind the gate. We don't want that in our community. I like to hope that people aren't that way. So anyway, are the gurus hiding the full case numbers? That's the kind of question you want to ask yourself. Are they only giving you selective screenshots without proof? Just ask yourself that. Are they avoiding teaching you how to do research? And I ask you these things because you think about it. If somebody's giving you just a piece of something, you're going to lose context. There's a reason why you should be asking, hey, can you give me a little bit more specific information? And so I can go and at least get an idea of what you're showing me, not just, hey, Greg, why are you showing me, the bottom half of this? Or like when I show you, and I'm going to do a follow-up video. I think they call reaction videos to my one that I just posted about vacating a judgment, where I can give people context because apparently somebody is saying something came out. I'll talk about the video and give you the specifics and show you the exhibits and what have you. I don't want anybody to walk in here not knowing what's going on because that doesn't help anybody get anywhere. Ultimately, you want to be as familiar with the information and subject matter as possible. So sorry about that. I'm going to make sure I go over that stuff. So anyway, just ask yourself, about the gatekeeping aspects, and tell them, don't just show me a piece of it, show me all of it. Even when you talk to me, hey, Greg, can you show me a little bit more? And I'll be like, oh, of course. Also, if I don't help, it's like I don't want to be, like I said on my last video, I want to be Greg's fish market. I want to teach you how to throw your reel in the water, how to bait your hook, what have you, and fish for yourself. So if something happens to Greg, or if Greg just decides one day I don't want to do this anymore, you're not just stuck out there in limbo waiting for what Greg does. All of our consultations here are in depth, suited and geared just for you. And I actually record the conversation, the consultation, so that you'll have it for posterity purposes. If there's anything because we all take notes, but some of our notes aren't always as I guess as detailed as they could be, but you can always go back to the references. Also, here's something I found kind of popular. That might just because some of the newer way we're doing things. I'm almost 58 years old, so I'm a lot more old school. There's a lot of guys who like to point things and look at everybody else like, are they flipping the blame for what they may have going on and showing you more of what somebody else may have done? Do they never take accountability for themselves or own them for what they've done or show you what they've done? And particularly if they're talking about other people, I'm gonna tell you, like I said on another one, LL said, listen, man, I don't need you to don't do a song about me, do a song about yourself. If you really are what you claim you are. You can, it's like if you played any sports, a lot of guys talk real good out there about how they can do this and how they can do that and how I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. But when they get on that field, they really ain't like that. And there's a lot of guys that move around kind of silent. You're like, man, he can't be like that. And then you're like, man, we can't get this girl off of me. Make a person show you exactly who they are. And also, anyone who's helping you should encourage you to ask certain kind of questions, but the questions should be directed toward getting you to whatever your desired goal might be. If your goal ultimately is to get relief, then the questions the things we discuss should be, how do we get you relief? Like, what is your issue? What's the rule that governs your issue? How do you apply the two together so that you can get a conclusion that you're entitled to relief? It's simple. I wouldn't want, and I can only speak for myself, I don't want anybody to need me for too long, because then you become what they call dependent. It's kind of like you're addicted to the guru. It's not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to use the guru is supposed to lead you to where you want to be, not the other way around. Okay. He should be like, hey, Mr. Guru, or hey, Greg, this. Okay. Did you do this, this, and this? Well, no. Okay. Well, then call me back when you do these things. Because if I just continue to lead you through everything and you don't know how to problem solve, what do you know? What do you want to know? How you go about solving and check your answer? I'm not helping you. I'm harming you. I'm like, okay, this is what you do. Or here, just give me this and let me do all this for you and just wait for the result. And that's not even being a good teacher. And I just rely on some of the things I learned when I worked in education and being a student, being a tutor and what have you, a mentor in certain areas. I rely on these experiences as well. And even when I was a union steward, it's a little bit different, but I used to always encourage people, like shout out to some of the great senior union stewards at UPS when I was there at Local 79. Hey, man, get inside your contract. Know your contract. You have to know the collective bargaining agreement. Otherwise, you won't know when you're being violated. And I was a union steward for the Teamsters for a little while as well. Here's a big one. Transparency. Are the gurus you talk about or talk to you, are they fully transparent? There's nothing wrong with having a stage name, like, or like Greg Doss is what I go by, but I tell the story. Started going to Greg when I played football. My given name is Chagret. Played football. They kept screwing up Chagret, and you can imagine almost 50 years ago when I started playing sports at 7 years old, they would screw up Chagret all the time. My mother would be all upset, and I think the final straw was when they screwed up my last name. I don't know how you mess up Doss, because you can spell Boss, Ross, but and even Haas, but they call me Doze and all other kinds of things. So I just said, okay, I'll make the first one simple, Greg, and then Doss. That's how you come up with Greg Doss. People who know me actually call me Gret. then call me Greg. But at any rate, that's how that comes about. But are they transparent? Have they ever shown you their full case from beginning to end in litigation? Because that's where the story is. Even if you want to argue that something went awry in the litigation process, they should be able to show you this is my issue. For example, smaller case, they didn't serve me the original summons and complaint as the rule requires within this time. And the rule requires that if you don't do the original summons and complaint, no showing a good cause, no showing a good cause, and no extension from the court, you must dismiss. Everything after that don't matter. And we can always talk about things that you can waive. You can at times waive jurisdictional challenges, except you can't waive subject matter jurisdiction challenge. And because, like in that case, I can say, hey, listen, there's no petition at all. So if there's no petition, you can't even initiate a case. The party that they're claiming to operate on behalf of never lived in Florida. There's no minimal contact. That's easy to explain. But you may not get that from just somebody showing you something cursory because that message isn't told. Ms. Ball, the only issue we discussed is $842 for, and that wasn't even hers. It's actually the state of Florida. Their argument is I owe them $842. The mother's not even an issue in that case. And that's inside the transcripts and inside of that proceeding. Easy to explain the case. Perjury case. Charged perjury in official proceeding. Didn't do it. There was no material evidence to show I did it. There's no probable cause. Filed for malicious prosecution in federal court. Why? Started a case against me, proceeded the case against me, case ended in my favor, fully in my favor, and no probable cause. Just that simple. And then you can show everything. They should be able to do that same thing for you, because even I think even from watching my mistakes, my errors, you can grow. That's what it's about. How can you be better than me? That's the sign of a good coach. How can I make that player the best player he can be? Sign of a good parent. How can my kids do better than me? I have a daughter who's a doctor. I'm good with that. I have a couple kids with degrees. I'm good with that. Them being smarter than dad doesn't bother dad at all. They could still never guard me. But anyway, that's a different thing. But at the end of the day, you want the people that you're here to help do better than you. And I know there's some people say, well, you don't want to outshine the master or the teacher. Well, that's a little different concept. But if I'm doing something, I want you to be better than me. Somewhere out there, there is a much better version of Greg. I just hope to find them, or even if I don't find them, hopefully they're out there somewhere doing the work that makes the community better. And also, the video things. When you can go and watch me in a courtroom, and it's less about the clout aspect of it than it is about showing people that you can, hopefully you can see that, showing people how to go about not even emulating what you see me do, but showing you that you can make it happen. And I'm going to go and pull up some stuff over here by letting you see how I operate in court. And hopefully your critique can say, hey, I see where Greg did this, but let me do this a little bit differently. Greg did that, but let me try this. Yeah, Greg, I noticed you did this, but how about had he done that? Or because everybody's going to have their own style. You can't get around that. In fact, I'm going to go that I did the reaction on. So let me show you a little bit of live in here. So let's see. Go to a window. And let you all see that handsome devil right there. And as you're looking at me here, that's an AI generated background where you see me in a proceeding, but the proceeding is real. And you see me wearing the suit, and I tell people I wear a suit in court because that's just more professional. In the hearings, you'll see me dressed down a little bit. So I believe it was a while before I got in here, and I tell people there's my disclaimer, and you'll hear me come in. That's a real judge's voice. And by the way, what you see here is I have two cameras going. One is basically the same thing that you all see, but we'll break this down a little later on. I just wanted to show people that's what everybody should be able to show you. somewhere that they've done some things in court. Uh, that's probably I'm only giving that as an advertisement for what's coming up. But everybody should be able to show you something they've done somewhere. And you can go to my page, of course, and you can see, and you don't have to be a member to see me. It's called Greg in the Courtroom or something like that. I don't remember anyway. Um, it's a Greg, yeah, I think it's like Greg's Courtroom Appearances or something like that. But it's on the playlist. You can go in there and you can watch me child support hearings. You can only get my traffic hearings by going to the Dropbox, and you can see me you can hear from beginning to end the process of me being arraigned, because shoot, man, I don't know even remember how many times, but there's at least 6 or 7 audios from start to finish of me defending driving without licenses, and I don't driving out a license, and I would tell all of you I don't recommend it. It was part of me arguing about the improperness of my child support cases, so I wouldn't recommend that anybody put themselves in that kind of situation. But I've done it, and was successful in doing so. But I didn't go in there saying just some goofy shit. I went in there with a plan, and the plan helped me win. So just keep that in mind uh, as you move through whatever it is that you're getting into. So in conclusion, and I didn't want to get to going up too much, is whoever your guru is, they should be giving you the tools necessary for you to be successful. At the end of the day, it's about your success, not about my pockets, my wallets, or even my ego. It's about what am I doing as a teacher, instructor, helper, what have you. Particularly, it's not a legal advice. My first thing is, hey, I think you should go get you an attorney. An attorney could help you, but even if you get an attorney, you want to be a good client for your attorney. Um, you know, None of us are going to be your savior. I like to think that nobody thinks that way. Although everybody can be a Christ to somebody, we ultimately cannot redeem you or save you or whatever entity or that you believe in or do not believe in. If you believe in yourself, um, and keep those things in mind, and then you want to start using just common sense in your inner detector and moving through the process of dealing with gurus. Um, and you have to be able to spot like you can issue spot your case. In your case, you need to issue spot your guru. Can you detect when they're lying to you? Can you detect when you may not be getting the full story? These things are important for your ultimate benefit. Like, you have to know how to do your own research and your own digging. My thing was long because before I became sufficient, I was crashing out in many cases. I had an attorney. Well, I only had an attorney, I think, on one issue, and I wish I'd had myself at the time. But um, I'm gonna disclose this to those who didn't know. I learned all of this after the age of 40. You have to think that Conrad case is in 2014, so that's what, 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I'd have been 45. That would have been my first time actually looking at jail time and defending myself looking at jail time. It's 12 years ago. And then every time that you see me in those driving out license cases, I was looking at jail time. But I was willing to stand on conviction. Don't necessarily encourage anybody to do that. But even if you get an attorney, make sure you have it. And I just couldn't afford an attorney for some of the issues that I had, because some of those driving out license cases began as felonies. I beat them down to the misdemeanor, and then it ultimately got dismissed. So you keep these things in mind. And it had nothing to do with a lot of the information that I'll talk about in another video about the straw man and all that other stuff that people are getting their heads torn off about. Check your public records. Check the public records for the person who's helping you. Check mine, and you'll see a whole lot of stuff in there about me. Good, bad, and indifferent. But I don't have any convictions, so that's what's ultimately most important. Be willing to call out contradictions, and then be willing to listen to them, and at least give you an explanation for the contradiction if it's there, because it could be unintentional. But give them an opportunity to, as we say, clean their face along the way. And then, most importantly, is your guru accessible? I don't encourage it. Well, I answer my phone call because I paid the damn bill. So if somebody calls me, I answer the phone. It's just the way I am. I'm going to get me an AI secretary eventually, once I think I can figure out how to work that damn thing. So I want to have an AI secretary and just be missing damn phone calls. But I'm accessible. My phone number is 813-570-9617. You can get my email at GDNAPSC@gmail.com. And you know the GDNAPSC, as you see up there, is Greg Dawson, attorney pro se consultants. You can get that. And you can go to my website, GDNAPSC.com, schedule a consult, what have you, and you can get me. So now listen, people. I'm going to get out of here. I know we're all ready for this Super Bowl Sunday, hopefully, and to do whatever else we do with our families and friends. But if a person gets upset about this video, it might be because it hit home. All right. And I'm going to say, you know who I'm talking to. But let's all get together, build a community, like, subscribe. And on all my videos, if you all could, go back, hit the like button. Encourage me to hit the like button so that the information will get out to other people. And we can continue to do this thing for everybody. And everybody can become more informed. And I got so many more videos coming. I'm going to do a reaction video to the one I showed you the glimpse of earlier today. Hey, feel free, like I said, to reach out, call, comment. And as always, imparting, sometimes it's not about right or wrong. More importantly, it's about clarity. You never reach resolution if you're not willing to engage in honest dialogue, even if the dialogue is with yourself. Take time to hug the person you love and love the person you hug. On behalf of GD Non-Attorney Pro Se Consultants, I'm Greg Doss. I'm saying peace. I'm saying chicken grease. And I'm out of here.